And we begin at 3 with breaking news. Federal agents storm MacArthur Park. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Let's get right to it. Local leaders are condemning their presence, saying the agents showed up while children were at camp. Witnesses tell us that there were at least 100 federal agents out there. LA Mayor Karen Bass also showed up. She just addressed the situation, saying the agents are causing fear in the communities. NBC4's Alex Rosier has more on the mayor's response. Alex.
Annabelle, the federal agents are not here at MacArthur Park anymore, but the protesters are here right now. Once this truck drives by, you'll see several dozen of them on both sides of the street, a few in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard right now. But at this point, it doesn't appear the agents detained anyone here at the park this morning. So the big question right now is, what were they doing here? Mayor Karen Bass called it a political stunt. Council President Marquise Harris Dawson said it looked like they were filming a TikTok video. Let me show you what it looked like just a couple hours ago. At least 100 federal agents, including Border Patrol and other law enforcement, were seen on the streets next to MacArthur Park. We saw federal agents on horses at the park. Others held weapons while riding in armored vehicles. Mayor Karen Bass showed up at one point this morning asking them to leave. They did leave shortly after she showed, but we don't know if they left because of the mayor's request. Moments ago, we heard from the mayor, who is outraged.
To me, this is another example of the administration ratcheting up chaos by deploying what looked like a military operation in an American city. So I went to MacArthur Park because it is very important that the truth be told about what happened there.
All of the activity today comes a month after the first ICE operation that led to widespread protests across Southern California. Nationwide, more than 55,000 migrants are in custody. NBC News has learned 28% of them have criminal convictions. But as for the large number of agents at the park today, again, at this point, it does not appear that they detained anyone. But as you can see, protesters have showed up too. Coming up later on in the day, we're going to be hearing from a couple of them and more reaction from city leaders who just spoke at City Hall. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rosier, NBC4 News.
All right, Alex, thank you very much for that. We will, of course, continue to monitor that situation out there. Thank you. Again, DHS has not said what the federal agents were doing at MacArthur Park. We're making calls to verify the numbers and gathering more information on the activity and why the agents were there in the first place. Now to our wildfire road to recovery. Today marks 6 months since the Eaton and Palisades wildfires destroyed neighborhoods. But these communities have proven to be resilient and are already on the path to moving forward. You're looking at before and after satellite images of burn zones. Local leaders say most of these lots have been cleared, and Governor Gavin Newsom today saying recovery is moving at a rapid pace. NBC4's Conan Nolan joins us live from Pasadena with more on the governor's message. Conan.
That's right, Pasadena City College. It was a show and tell of sorts. The governor of California, as well as County Board of Supervisors Chair Catherine Barger, as members of Congress, Judy Chu, Brad Sherman, all talking about what has taken place over the past 6 months since the Altadena and the Palisades fire, the recovery, the challenges ahead. We have pictures to show you from inside the auditorium. At least 7 different speakers talking about what they believe was the advantage. The governor at one point thanking the federal government, the EPA, the Small Business Administration, as FEMA, calling them out for doing everything they could to help the residents of the city and the county after the fires, lauding to a certain degree the Trump administration for their effort after the Biden administration initially started the recovery effort. But then afterwards, the conversation turned to the one issue that's overshadowing the recovery, and that is immigration. This was the governor moments ago when he was talking about what happened at MacArthur Park.
What theater? On the 6-month anniversary, after all, of these fires. That's the message from the polluted heart of the President of the United States, the polluted heart of Stephen Miller. Those National Guard men and women that were out there protecting people are now being used as political pawns, out there on horsebacks running through soccer fields in the middle of the day, timed around announcements and events like this. It says everything you and I need to know about the state of mind of the President of the United States in this administration.
The polluted heart of the President of the United States. That from the governor of California, who from here makes his way to South Carolina, where he's going to be discussing issues of emergency and disaster relief at some counties at the invitation of the Democratic Party in South Carolina. He's also going to be reaching out to the National Governors Association as well. The governor pointing out that the governors of red and blue states need to pull together to make sure politics is not being used out of Washington as to how they finance the recovery. Pointing out that what happened in Texas with the disaster on the Guadalupe River, the governor of that state deserves every penny they can get out of Washington, because this does not break on whether or not you're a Democrat or Republican. Should also point out that South Carolina is potentially the first Democratic state to vote in the 2028 Democratic presidential primary. Reporting live from Pasadena City College, I'm Conan Nilden, NBC4 News.
All right, Conan, thank you very much for that update.